Welcome back to Safas Unscripted. This is episode 22. Thank you for everyone that has been loving, supporting the channel. I know most of you guys are watching this on YouTube, but please remember to click the links and go to our Spotify as well. We just started on Spotify as well. So we would appreciate your love and support there. Today's episode is about predictions for the 2024 season. Boys, I'm going to try and catch you off guard. As you know, this is casual bias rugby, so it's going to be a lot of South African bias in it. So we're starting off big. Brett. Me and you talked about it. I'm going with the Boks to go undefeated this year. Going on from the World Cup, taking that momentum. We're playing all of our strong teams that we're playing against. We're playing them at home. We got a couple of Cape Town games. We're not losing in Cape Town. Boys, Boks undefeated 2024.
So as you hear that thunderstorm out here, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that's pretty much the Boks. What they're going to do to other teams, they're going to be trembling because the Boks are coming for, like you said, vengeance. And I think that I actually agree with you that the Boks will go undefeated.
A massive part of me really wants to agree. But as we know, Cape Town is New Zealand's home away from home. We know we have 1,000, possibly tens of thousands of All Black fans down there in Cape Town, so that's going to be tough. And obviously, we're not 100% sure yet of the November test yet, but we could catch a tricky one there if we play France. But you know what? I'm a Bok fan. I'm backing it. We can do it. 100%. Let's go.
You're not sounding like the cocky South African that we all are.
Yeah.
I just like the dream of thinking we won the World Cup. People are doubting us because they say we lost against Ireland. I think we want vengeance against Ireland. And of course, New Zealand is always a feisty battle, but we're playing them twice at home. One is at, what did you say, Brett? Was it at Ellis Park that we're playing the one game and then in Cape Town?
Yes.
And we don't want to lose that game at Cape Town because that's the big one. Exactly. So I don't think it's too far of a stretch to even say it. Because just as I said, vengeance on the Ireland game. I would not lose to Ireland, okay? That is the point. Moving on, let's talk about something else other than South Africa real quick. Now, this might be basic. People might disagree, but I've got France to take the Six Nations this year. That's starting in Feb.
Why would you even, why is that even relevant to our lives? Like, who even cares? But no, I actually disagree with you. Although it's relevant to our page, it's irrelevant to my thoughts on the Six Nations. So with Antoine Dupont leaving the French to go play some sevens, I think it's going to be a bit more tough for them. So, yeah, I don't know who I have winning that Six Nations, but I don't think it's going to be France.
I think Ireland have it wrapped up already. I'm going to be 100% honest. I think Johnny Sexton wasn't the main man that Ireland thought he was. I think the 10 slotting in, whoever it may be, I think will do the same job Johnny Sexton did for them. I think they'll take the Six Nations, and obviously missing Dupont is tough for France. I mean, that's their main, that's the heartbeat of that team. And that's what I want Ireland to win it, because when they come to South Africa, I want to play the Six Nation champions and I want to beat them. So I'm going for Ireland in the Six Nations.
Yeah, my thought process is just the same as the South Africa versus Ireland one. I think France would feel this was their World Cup that they should have won, and they want to have a stamp of authority when it comes to the Six Nations title now again, because I think the tournament is wrapped up whoever plays the game home between Ireland and France, because I don't think France beats Ireland in Ireland, and I don't think Ireland beats France in France, and I think they beat every other team in the competition. And this year, the first game is literally Ireland versus France in France or in Paris. So that was the reasoning about that. But I liked what Brett said about Dupont going to sevens. And I quickly want to throw another controversial take in there. I don't think Antoine Dupont makes any difference going to the sevens. I still think France get bummed when they go there because it's not a seventh player.
Well, when it comes to sevens, I completely agree. It's just you got to adapt properly, and what's he going to do that's different than an actual good sevens player? Like, he's not going to come and all of a sudden score 44 tries or whatever. The French Oaks are quicker than him. It's not going to make a difference. I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, me and Brett have made like certain transitions in our limited career of rugby where we've gone from 15s to sevens. And I think going from sevens to 15s is a lot easier than going from 15s to sevens. It's a massive difference. You think because there's more space, it's easier. It's really not. It really isn't. So it's going to be tough. And I think you're right. I don't think he's going to make the impact that the world thinks he's going to make at all.
Yeah, but I think adding to your bit of controversy there, I think that this is more of a stunt. Yes, this is more of a stunt to bring in sponsorships for the seven side. I don't think it's based on the French side wants to go and win tournaments. I think the French side needs cash in the seven setup, and the only way they're going to get it is with their poster boy.
Listen, like let's not beat around the bush. He's a brilliant 15s player, but the sevens game is so different. I don't see what he adds to that team. It's not like he's got lightning speed and he can step anyone and he's just going to create something out of nothing, because he's probably going to play on the scrum half role or on the wing for the sevens. It's not the same. He might even do the scrum because he's such a stocky guy. But anyway, that's enough about the Six Nations team. No, one more. I forgot. I think, because I've had enough of these people talking about England are going to be good, I think England comes second to last in the Six Nations. Like their World Cup has been overrated. People are talking about, look at that performance against South Africa. Yes, fine. With every single thing in your favor. Every other game they were horrible. Nearly lost to Fiji again. And you want to tell me that, and I heard talks about them winning the Six Nations? No, thank you.
Yeah, too many people are making that prediction. And I actually want to throw in my spanner in the works here that I saw a post the other day where it said the last time Scotland won the Six Nations, it was still called the Five Nations, and Moro Itoje was 5 years old. And I think in my lifetime, I want to see Scotland win a Six Nations. And I think my call for this year is Scotland's winning the Six Nations.
Wow.
I'd love that. I mean, as much as I want to play Six Nations champions in South Africa, the Scots have always got a soft spot. I mean, obviously we send our I don't want to say rejects because there are some good players that play for Scotland.
They are second string team.
But they're let's say they are second string team. But yeah, if the Scots can do that, I'll be over the moon for them.
Yeah, like this, the Scots are beating England by far. I just don't see how they beat Ireland because they got spanked by them in the World Cup. Like that kind of showed you the levels between the two teams. But overall, just the fact I don't see England performing like people are predicting at the moment. I think their World Cup was very overhyped. I think if Scotland played in their pool, they got to the same level. And if the pools weren't like that, they wouldn't be playing in the third and fourth place. It would be Ireland and France. So anyway, as you know, this is Safas Unscripted. So we're going back to South Africa now. I've got a breakthrough player for us, but I've also got one from New Zealand for this year. I think we should keep our eyes on these guys. You can tell me if you got one of your own. But I've got Chiba Daimani to have a breakthrough season. I think we see him in a Bok jersey sooner or later in this year, especially with the likes of, you don't know the future of Siya Kolisi. Of course, there's a lot of youngsters coming through, but Chiba has been doing it for years. He's had a brilliant season last season. He's been on fire this season as well. And then another breakthrough player that I think is really going to find his feet this year, because he's going to probably be in the starting role, is Cam Roygaard for the All Blacks. He was absolutely brilliant before the World Cup and in the World Cup. And I think he knows there's a lot of responsibility on him, but I think he just plays in the way that Razor wants to play. What are we thinking, boys?
Oh, that's a tough call because, well, firstly, if you've made it this far into the video, almost 10 minutes in, just remember to subscribe if you haven't already. But anyway, Cam Roygaard, he fell away for me a bit in the World Cup towards the latter end, because when I saw him against South Africa in that warm-up game, I thought, holy cow, this guy is on a whole nother level. And then he kind of fizzled out for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's an omission from Razor's team at all.
Wow.
Sure. Well, I think with regards to Roygaard, if New Zealand has any thoughts of starting Finlay Christie at all, I think that's big trouble. So who else do they have? That
It's just Roygaard oozes being the future thing. Like he just looks like he is the future of New Zealand nines.
And in
but Brett's,
December, okay.
Brett's correct. He did fizzle away a bit, and as an All Black, you can't be doing that. You have to be consistent on a regular basis. So it's going to be interesting to see who Razor picks as his trusted nine now that Aaron Smith is retired. So yeah, I'm keen to see it, but yeah.
Do we think because Cam Roygaard fought to get into the position that he was, and then he got the chance to play against South Africa in that warm-up game, he did well, and then he started playing against the weaker teams in the World Cup, scored a bunch of tries, could literally just dart around the corner and score the tries, that he almost tried to do it too much, that it almost worked against him in the end.
Yes.
And that's maybe why he fizzled away, because he tried to do almost too much to prove a point.
Yes, he's too stingy. He's a 9 that wants to score more tries than Aaron Smith in his first year. I mean, come on, that's not what a 9 is there meant to do. So yeah, if I was the fluff, I'm seeing it as I'm the fluff. If he was my 9, I would take my boot off and throw it at the back of his head and say, "Listen, bud, I'm the 10. Pass the damn ball," because he doesn't work for me. But something interesting that came in December of 2023 is somebody tweeted and said, "I want my All Black jersey back," and that said person is TJ Perenara.
Oh yeah, because he's kind of the forgotten one because of his injuries. And there was a long time that people had the debate, should Aaron Smith still start above TJ, because it felt like they were the two best 9s in the world playing for the same team.
Yeah.
That if they can have a TJ Perenara there to still start the games, and then Cam Roygaard if you need him from the bench to make an impact, that is a scary combination you got once again for the next couple of years. Because TJ isn't the oldest in the world, is he?
No, he's significantly younger than Aaron Smith was. But the point is that with his experience, you kind of want him back in the side. Finlay Christie will fall out, which is a pity because he's the only bloody ginger in the All Black side. But other than that, he's quite mediocre. But yeah, Finlay Christie will fall out, and then Cam Roygaard will resume his role as a bench player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to quickly touch on your other point, Casual. We all speaking about Hachiba Daimoni, and kudos to him. He will get a Springbok shot this year. 100%. He's been phenomenal, and he made the Bulls look mediocre. So fair play to him. But we are filming this the day after two centers went head-to-head with the Lions versus the Sharks. Henku van Wyk versus Lucanio And Henku van Wyk put his hand up 100%. And I think Henku van Wyk may just solidify a solid spot in that box squad. Maybe not starting all the time just yet, but I think he's got his hand in that squad and he's going to make a statement.
Well, yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, we spoke about Brett. I think it was in the podcast that just the two of us were doing, where we spoke about Henku van Wyk being the potential outside center for the Springboks in the coming years. But the only issue is he's got this injuries that keeps him out for half the season every time. But he's been going strong this whole season. No injury plagues or anything really that I know about. And he's just been he's so consistent. Like he's there week in, week out, doing a job, playing his best rugby. And the Lions are quietly just doing their job, as we spoke to JP Smith. And these guys are just doing it.
I was thinking about this the other day, that two people I'd like to actually see play together, and the only way they can play together is in a Bok jersey, would be Dan du Plessis with Henku van Wyk on his outside.
Yeah.
Would be
I
very
don't think
interesting
we'll
to
ever
see.
get the luxury of seeing that unless it's against Portugal.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what we need. But a guy like Achieva Diamani in the team with those two centers, and then maybe like a Libok or a Sasha Feinberg Ngomazulu at 10, with Grant at 9. Oh my goodness.
Brett,
Yeah,
you're a
good.
massive fan of Sasha, and so am I, but you are a bigger advocate for the guy. Do you think this is his breakthrough season as well, or do you think maybe this year still a bit on the down low, and then next year maybe getting into that position?
So pre-injury, I would have said he's walking into the box side. But now he played 2 games, injured for 5. Played 2 games, injured for 5. That just doesn't work. Well, this will be game number 6 now that he's going to be sitting out when he comes back from injury. So if he comes back from injury anytime soon. So I would say yes, but at this point, I'm going to say no and maybe next year.
Okay. So this is the interesting one. I've got an early prediction for who I will think wins World Rugby Player of the Year. And it's no other. Anyone want to have a quick prediction who I'm going to say before we do
First,
it?
I want to say, are you okay? Like making these 12-month down the line predictions.
Brett, as you know, my predictions are fire. You heard it in the previous episode. Okay, I know things. I predict these things.
Okay, go. Give us your shouts. I'll tell you why you
give me who you think I'm gonna say. You guys know me.
I've got a feeling you're going Peter Steph.
No,
there's only one man. There's one man. It is Damian Willemse, boys. I think Damian Willemse, World Rugby Player of the Year. If we go undefeated the year, right, and somehow get to another final of the URC, or we win the URC, and we get to the Heineken Cup final or the knockouts after being in the pool of death again, and we win the rugby championship, boys, Damian Willemse, after last year as well, after winning his 2nd World Cup as well, just all of that combined, just like we said, Adi Savia deserves it because the season before that he got snubbed, so he deserved it this year, even though they didn't win the World Cup. Damian Willemse deserves it, like, thoroughly.
Do you remember when Victor Matfield on air said he does not understand what the hype is about Damian Willemse, and he said that Damian Willemse is not a good rugby player? Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, but that sounds deluded when you listen to it now, because every time he plays, he looks like the best player on the field by a mile.
Yeah. And then it took a few games for Victor Matfield to have to apologize. But that's just Victor being Victor, like you said, delusional.
Yeah, but Willemse, that's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. Will it happen this year? It's tough, but it's not a bad shot because if you look at how he plays, he has the potential to be the best player in the world, and that's why I'll back it. I'll back it and say there's a solid chance it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, an award like that, they don't necessarily give it to experience or stuff. It's literally the best player in the world for that year. And if you think about how his performances have been for the Stormers since he's come back into the Stormers team, we've been undefeated until now. He's been the standout player almost every single game when it comes to the back line for both teams. He's just making stuff happen out of nowhere. Of course, Daimani, we spoke about him, but he's not going to win World Player of the Year in his first year playing international rugby. But Damian Willemse has been absolutely brilliant from the start of this year. Well, this year just started. Kind of forgot about that. But yeah, Damian Willemse, and he's my favorite player. So it is a bit of biasness as well. Do you guys have any other interesting shouts that you want to give for Player of the Year? Someone you can predict?
Yeah. I do. Based on everything you said as to why Damian Willemse would get Player of the Year, just like my bold Scotland winning the Six Nations call, I'm going to say that World Player of the Year for the first time goes to a tight head prop in France Malherbe. The Oak has been deserving for many, many years. Never misses a tackle, never loses a scrum, actually dominates every scrum. And his scrum discipline is on a league of its own. So I'm going to say my World Player of the Year, if we're doing a 12-month in advance prediction, will be Frans Malherbe.
Brett, no, before you go, Brett, no one deserves it more than Frans Malherbe. I would totally agree. The only thing is, how World Rugby is, they're not giving it to a prop. It's just a shame. So, but I do love that shot, and that has to be respected. Brevan, you can go.
Yeah. Before I give my prediction, if Frans Malherbe somehow sees this little clip or something, I think you need to hire Mr. Burns as your advocate because he defends you like crazy and he always loves you just like us three. But yeah, Frans Malherbe, I mean, he just goes unrecognized. And some idiots have the audacity to say he's lazy and he doesn't do anything, but they just don't realize what he actually does in the scrum. Tackles you don't see him making. It's just he's a fantastic, fantastic player. But unfortunately, like you said, World Rugby likes to give it to the bulldozers, all the flashy guys. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But my prediction, I haven't even thought about this, so this could be a terrible prediction. But I'm gonna go.
I was thinking all these Bulls players.
No. I honestly think
if you could, he was gonna say Cameron Hanekom now.
That's what I was thinking. I thought exactly that.
I'm gonna go. He's gonna win it for a second time. Pieter-Steph du Toit will win World Player of the Year. I'm gonna give him a second time. I think he's gonna continue his form into the international season from the World Cup. It's just he is playing in a Japanese league, so that may not be recognized.
But I think it's a bit of a cop out. You went for the safest bet on the planet.
Well, it's not really that safe, Brett, because he's saying Pieter-Steph is going to make history in becoming one of those elite guys to have only done it twice. Because there's not a lot of guys that have done it twice, are they? I mean, Dan Carter has done it more than once. Who's done it more than once?
Dan Carter, Bowden Barrett, and Richie McCaw.
3 All Blacks. We got to get a Safa in there.
Yeah,
we deserve at least one of them in there to have it more than once. Okay, and then
snapped quite a few times because I thought, I think it was 2011 and 12. I think Brian Abana deserved it back to back. Who else was there? Skalkberger deserved it. So there's lots of calls that I think, we got schnapped, but it's fine. Pieter-Steph, good call.
Okay, and then the final one, this was kind of a last-minute entry, and this is credit to Brett because I asked him. So our final controversial one, is it really controversial? Is that Australia will fall even further, and they will go on to lose both games against Argentina in this rugby championship as well. Now, of course, we're saying this. If Jake White, with our conspiracy theory, goes and coaches them, they get better because he's a Safa. But if they get someone else, they fall even further. What are we thinking, boys?
Firstly, if Jake White goes to Australia as head coach, I will be applying for a job and I'll be making sure that both the Smith twins get selected somehow into that bloody Wallaby squad. Because if you watch the game between the Sharks and the Lions, those Smith twins, it's like the one came off after scrumming the shit out of everyone, and his twin brother came and did exactly the same. But Ruan was a bit angry, so that'll be my call. But then we have to take back what we just said about Australia not winning.
Yeah. They go there, they change the whole game in the country. All of a sudden, they become elite, top 3 nations again.
I don't know if Jake will make his way there. I'm not sure it's going to happen because if it has to happen, it has to happen soon.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, and I don't think he will, and they appoint one of their delusional coaches again, then I think Argentina beats them twice. The All Blacks beat them twice, and we beat them twice, and boom, there you go, wooden spoon. And speaking of wooden spoons, this will be Australia's. It belongs to me at the moment. Long story. But yes, they will be getting the wooden spoon.
Okay, boys.
Wait. I want to add something to that. If Jake White does go, that means that Jake White would never, ever in his career have beaten John Dobson in a game. So, bye.
No, wait, not buy it. We have to do a roundup for the people.
I'm saying Jake must say bye.
Oh, okay, yeah, fully agree. Okay, so first up, we're saying the Springboks go on to beat Ireland and beat New Zealand, because those are the only two games that really matter, right? And that will make us undefeated for 2024. We are saying France goes on. Well, I said France goes on to win the Six Nations. You guys said Ireland. As you guys know,
Scotland. You said Scotland. Oh, otherwise.
He's going for Scotland, yeah. I would like Brett to actually be correct on this one. I would not mind Brett being correct on this one. Anyway, then we went on to say, listen, Antoine Dupont, listen, great player in the game of 15s, but he's not going to make a difference when it comes to the sevens rugby because it's totally different. We went on to say England will just be in the dumps once again. Like, they are overrated at the moment. We said Australia will fall even further. And Casual Bias with the bold call came through and said Mr. Damien Gaza Willemse to be Rugby World Player of the Year. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for all your love and support on the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. And please also, if you want to, listen to us on Spotify. We don't even have to see our ugly faces. So you can just listen to us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you, gents. Bye-bye.
Bye.